Yo, 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 it's your boy FRO, and today I'm going to be talking about the movies and the television show episodes that I got to check out in September 2023. So ain't nothing to it but to do it. First up, we got the Equalizer 3. Now, for further thoughts, check out my full review on my channel whenever you got a chance. But long story short, I got to see this one twice in theaters, mainly because when a Denzel movie comes out, and if I feel that it's a banger, I'm going to see it in the theater at least twice or more. But I love this movie, highly enjoyed it. It might be my personal favorite out of this trilogy. If you're going to watch this movie expecting action every scene or every other scene and a nonstop thrill ride on the action side, I think you'll be pretty disappointed. But I really enjoyed and appreciated the character study route that they went with Robert McCall, him battling with himself and thinking, is he a bad guy or is he a good guy when he dispatches these pretty bad guys, these villains. But I love Equalizer 3. I had a great time. I might even go for a third viewing. Next up, we got a zombie movie that I wanted to see when it came out, but I never got the chance to. Finally peeped it. It's called Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. I like this one, but I didn't love it at the same time. There's some nice moments of gore. The three main characters, the Boy Scouts, they were giving me some chuckles here and there. For the most part, I felt like this movie was missing something. I can't pinpoint it, to be fair. Like, this one was a pretty tough one to give a rating, because I liked it, but I wanted to love it more, if that makes sense. Next up, we got A Haunting in Venice. Now, this one I surprisingly enjoyed. I had seen the previous two films, Murder on the Orient Express and The Death on the Nile. Out of this Kenneth Branagh trilogy, I enjoyed A Haunting in Venice the most. I really enjoyed the acting, pretty creepy atmosphere, the use of the mansion or the house that they're in. Yeah, man, I really like The Haunting in Venice. Oh, and if you want to check out my further thoughts, I have a review on my channel as well. I just want to keep it a little bit short and sweet while I move along. And I don't want to sound too long-winded. But yeah, check out the review. The Outlaw Johnny Black. I wanted to save a review for this one as well. I just didn't get a chance to record it. But Michael Jai White returns with a Western comedy. And if you guys saw Black Dynamite, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, it's like a top 20, top 10 comedy for me, personally. But here, is it as great as Black Dynamite? I wouldn't say so. But I still enjoyed it. I still had a really good time with this film. Michael Jai White does a good job behind the camera and with the writing. And co-writing, I believe, with Byron Sims, or the guy who plays Bullhorn in Black Dynamite. Everybody does a good job. It is still goofy, and it does feel like a parody at times, or like a Western plotation film, if you will. But there are some surprising dramatic moments that I really enjoyed and appreciated, because I was expecting this movie to just be a straight up goofy comedy like Black Dynamite. But yeah, revolving a plot with the main character and his father, because this one's about the father dying and the son wanting to avenge his father's death. And there's more to it too, but that's the overall, I would say, arc or the main hook of the plot. Michael Jai White does a good job, again, behind the camera and in front of the camera. We have a pretty star-studded cast. We have guys like Gary Anthony Williams, who plays Uncle Ruckus in Boondocks. I want to say my further thoughts, but The Outlaw Johnny Black, awesome comedy. I think it's going to be pretty underrated because it's in theaters and it's not really getting any word of mouth. But yeah, FRO approves. I recommend it. All right, moving on to Saw 10. Just a quick wrap up, full reviews on my channel as well. Tobin Bell puts in probably the best performance of this whole franchise. This was my favorite Saw film since the third film, which is almost 20 years ago. The traps are some of my favorite in the franchise. The story might be my favorite overall out of all these films, which is very surprising for me to say, because I had lost faith in a lot of the Saw films before. Like the last one I genuinely enjoyed might have been 4. Yeah, I don't really have too many nitpicks with it. It's 2 hours and it flew by for me, but I can understand if people have a little bit of problem with the time that they take for the build up in the first half. I really enjoyed Saw 10 and I do recommend it, especially if you're a blood and gore person. I do recommend it too, because there are brutal moments that took me back to flinching and to being like, ooh, that's pretty grimy, because I got pretty desensitized. Like I mentioned in the review, I got pretty rinse and repeat. I felt the rinse and repeat with a lot of the traps in the past couple ones. I'm like, I don't really care as much anymore. But this one got me excited again. I got to peep the first 3 episodes of this new Walking Dead Daryl Dixon show. And so far, I am enjoying it. I'm a fan of Norman Reedus. I've been watching his career for some time now, ever since I was younger, Blade 2, Boondock Saints. So it's really cool to see him have his own show, to be the title character, the main guy. And I always enjoyed him in the regular Walking Dead show. So it was a treat. And I haven't checked out the 4th episode that just came out a few days ago. But the first episode was might have been my favorite so far. The second episode's pretty dope. The third one staggered a bit. I got a little bit sleepy. I'm like, all right, this is a little bit slow for my personal viewing. But I'm hoping that episode 4 picks it back up again. I like some of the characters that are introduced, and I like the new setting of France that Daryl was in. Daryl's in Europe. He gets washed ashore after a hoopla on a boat that we don't know yet. He gets washed ashore on France, and he's maneuvering through. He meets a compound or a place of nuns. They have their own preparation room. They got medieval weapons. And I enjoy the nuns in this show. Long story short, without sounding too long-winded, I really enjoyed the show so far. I'm hoping they pick it back up again on the 4th episode. But Norman Reedus is doing a pretty good job playing Daryl, and I'm enjoying the show. Now, another one that I didn't get to see when it came out a few months ago, but I'm slowly starting to catch up. I only got 3 episodes of this one as well. I got 3 more to go. But The Walking Dead, Dead City, with Maggie and Negan, Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Lauren Cohen. I like this show. I'm liking the Daryl Dixon one just a little bit more for the drama's sake and the cinematography and how gorgeous France is looking. And Daryl is one of my favorite characters. I love Negan, and I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan's performance and his portrayal as Negan. I think it's a very great job, very snarky, funny, but badass when he has the opportunity to be. And I like the switch from him appearing as this evil guy when he killed Glenn, who was one of my favorite characters as well, so it hurt to see Glenn go. But now we're seeing a transformation where he's more quiet, he's more humble, if you will. He was a man of code all along, but now even in the performance of Jeffrey Dean Morgan, we can see he's a bit of a smaller man, but done in a pretty cool way. And he still has some moments in the first 3 episodes I've seen so far where we see the brutal side of Negan, particularly one moment that I'm like, oh shit, that's pretty gnarly. But I really enjoy blood and guts in the shows and zombie shit, so... But so far, Maggie's doing a pretty good job. She's very stone cold, very Sarah Connor-ish, if you will. That's the vibes that I'm getting from Maggie so far from this show. But yeah, I like Lauren Cohen's portrayal as well. I'm going to finish the last 3 episodes of this show to see if it still holds up. I'm still entertained. I'm still pulled in. So I'll give you guys final thoughts down the line. But that's it, y'all. That's what I got to see in September 2023. And it's October 4th right now. So I will cheat and give a little bonus extra movie that I got to see literally 2 days ago. It's a movie called It Lives Inside. And it's an Indian director. I believe it's their first feature film. I don't know if it's a woman or a man. I didn't look too much into the director, but it's their first feature film. It's a take on a monster in a jar type of thing, but it's also linked into possession and supernatural elements. And I did like it. I had a good time with it. I wish the pacing could have been better. There were times where I was just falling asleep a little bit or my eyes were getting droopy. And it's not a long movie. It's an hour and 39 minutes. but I did like it for the most part. I like the monster in the film and the creature design, and I'm a sucker for eyes in the dark shots. Like, let's say the character wakes up out of their sleep, they look at the closet, and there's like eyes glowing in the dark and shit. Or The Gray with Liam Neeson, where there's that wolf scene where all the wolf eyes are appearing one by one. I'm a sucker for those type of shots, and there's a handful of them in this movie, so I might do a review on It Lives Inside, I might not. I just have a bunch more that I'd rather do. Solid film for me. And that's it, y'all. It's your boy Fro. I'm out. On to the next review. Peace.